Hi everyone, it's Miss Celeste, and I am your ECE instructor for ECE 102. And I'm really excited to be with you guys tonight and kind of dive into the preschool curriculum framework, specifically framework 1, 2, and 3. And those are all different guides from the state of California that they provide for early education. Some of these frameworks are going to be part of some of your assignments and just some sources for you to read and also use as a resource during this course and also after, just to dive into the different areas of learning and how you can support children. Before we get started, though, I am going to reflect on lastly on week three's discussion thread, and just making sure that we accomplish that by Wednesday, replies by Saturday. Journals are due Saturday and assignments are due Sunday. So please make sure that we are having some great lengthy time on each of these assignments because they do require you to really dive deep into your process of how you do things to share them with others. So I really hope that this is being very helpful and insightful for you because that is really the purpose of a lot of these assignments that I have assigned. All right, so preschool framework. So there's so many different areas that we do need to focus on. Some basic, beginning areas would also include the social emotional development, the language and literacy, English language development, and mathematics. So again, you might hear me talk a lot about the social emotional part of how much that impacts every area of learning. So when a child builds that sense of self, confidence, awareness, self-esteem, responsibility, just really understanding who they are and learning upon their abilities to grow and grow. Other areas, part of the framework is really, discovery of the world, the language and literacy, of course, mathematics, creative expressions, gross and fine motor skills, of course, and also, the cognitive and the process of how we understand new areas of learning. The framework goals, and right here is a picture of what the pamphlet volume 1 looks like. And again, there is 3 volumes, so I do encourage you to either download them or find them on the internet because they are there for your support, and they are available for you to kind of refer to. And they really talk a lot about the alignment between the curriculum framework and the foundations. So they're really easy to see. They're really easy to connect. The curriculum framework includes, the principles, the concepts, the practices that reflect a developmentally appropriate approach to learning, and the planning of the learning environment, interactions, experiences, daily routines. So it really talks a big, broad areas, and I really think it's really helpful because one of those areas are going to be areas that you need some support in at some point, right? If you're just getting into the classroom, this is a great tool for you to have and kind of guide with as well. So I encourage you to get volume 1, 2, and 3 and make it part of your resource book or section in your classroom because I think it'd be really helpful. The curriculum framework encourages teachers to adapt to individual and culture. And really, I guess I just want to really stop really quick. The culture aspect within this framework is amazing. They really focus a lot about the meaningfulness behind applying culture studies and really just getting that family involvement. The other area is individuality and how much I talk about how much that matters when children are learning. This also feeds into just really having them work at their pace and how to do that and how to kind of frame your lessons and teachings to apply that is really meaningful, because we really just want to support children's ongoing process of making meaning within what they're learning. So some areas that we do need to focus on, as I briefly mentioned, would be the social emotional development. So that's really, as I mentioned, the sense of self. So showing abilities to adjust to new situations, able to trust, recognize their own feelings, really just have a voice. We really want to encourage that. The physical development. So again, that's focusing more on gross motor, fine motor. And these are all part of the preschool curriculum framework that they definitely talk about and make it a part of their curriculum details. And having these areas of development part of your curriculum is ultimately super, super important, because this is going to determine and kind of guide you into these meaningful areas, and making sure that we are supporting the growth within the gross and fine motor skills, the cognitive development, and language and development. Just some areas to touch on in the cognitive development. So children need to be able to observe objects and events with curiosity, approaching, problems with, flexibility, exploring cause and effect. These are all areas that they develop over time and what we need to focus on. Language development, just to name a few. So here, and demonstrates the sounds of language, expresses self using words and expanded sentences, understanding and follow oral directions. So really understanding what's being asked of them. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of touch on these development areas, because these are very much a big part of the curriculum. I just want to briefly show you a video of why preschool curriculum matters, and just kind of dive into the classroom briefly. It's only a minute, so it's a really quick video, but really take it all in.
Preschool is really important to children because it gives them a chance to play with other children, to work in groups, to take turns, to have conversations. All of these experiences set them up with social skills that they're going to use for the rest of their lives. And the time that they get to practice all of these social skills is in free play, exploration, and creative play. It gives children an opportunity to have at home. They practice different motor skills, different language skills. They get to hear conversations and hear words, vocabulary from other children that they might not know, and then it gets put into their repertoire. All of these experiences help to build their self-confidence and give them self-confidence. And research shows that children who have a strong self-concept and strong self-confidence learn more because they're more open to more experiences. And they want to participate because they feel good about themselves. Children who go to high-quality preschools are ready for kindergarten. They have richer vocabularies, they have stronger social skills, they know how to work within a group, stronger math skills, strong pre-reading skills. Everything is primed and ready for the learning to happen when they get to kindergarten.
So preschool is a big part of the learning process, and why we as educators really advocate for preschool and really sending their children to these wonderful environments so they can establish so much learning before they get to kindergarten. So that was just a really brief video on preschool classroom. So now I'm going to get into teacher, suggestions that you can incorporate in your preschool curriculum framework. So such as, participate in education and training that increases knowledge of the subject matter being taught and understanding of how to teach young children. So I think, learning is an ongoing process. Applying new ideas to curriculum and developing curriculum and really understanding the importance of certain areas in the curriculum really is something that you have to continue to learn more about. I encourage a lot of training. I encourage participating in webinars or anything pertaining, of course, to your interests, specifically for your age, classroom and needs, of course. So just kind of finding ways to connect there is really important. There's so many other free trainings that you can be a part of, um, just to kind of listen in. And also, if you ever need any suggestions or feedback, I'm more than happy to look for you and support you there. So just ask. Another area is just participate in education and training that focuses on how young children grow and learn. So that's another area specifically on how children grow and learn, versus understanding how to teach young children. Those are two different areas, and two different types of trainings that and topic of conversation really, that you can attend that I think are very meaningful. Another area is just focusing on the culture, traditions, practices, and language diversity of the growing number of others, within your classroom. So it's really important to, really understand the different culture dynamics and traditions. So you then can talk more about it and be confident in that sense, and bring it part of your community. It's really, really important. And then here I do have creating a preschool curriculum and just some basic ideas, to say if you were to create your own curriculum, how it would pretty much be formatted. So of course, all the learning areas are really critical. So language development, literacy, math, science, social studies, art, social development, physical development, and culture development. In addition, again, if we're talking about preschool, we then would talk about the different developmental domains, right? So really focusing on the language, cognitive, math, um, fine and gross motor skills, etc. So we're always just making sure that we are following those specific areas, and it does differ depending on the age of children. So just be mindful of that. So for an example, in my Montessori classroom, the way that I intertwine the social studies is I would have excuse me, an area of different areas of, mainly books. I guess I'm trying to think of a specific book, but of on different studies within, children could really comprehend, and really what's happening today, and a little bit about, the past, but again, depending on the age, and it does really all differ. We also have like a cultural area. We have a science and botany area. So it's just, again, different terms, but we all have the same purpose, right? And then other areas, just defining the teacher's role within the curriculum is a big part. So teachers should know their role in the teaching platform. So what are you teaching? What are you leading? And just kind of really specifically understanding those parts. And then also just identifying the learning environment. So really understanding what the environment needs, what the children need. Think about it, alternate, where they sit or how they're sitting. Really just be engaged and observe often so you can really find what works. And lastly, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I hope you all have a great week. And if you have any other questions, please reach out. I'm here to support you. Our next stop would be week 4, part 13, and that is our final week. Although we do have one more live session after week 4. And I look forward to seeing you then. Okay, have a great week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.